Hashem. So we're Parashat Shemot. In this week's parasha, there's two ladies, a woman and a daughter. They're taking care of the Jewish community. They're the midwives, right? So each baby, each house, so you're talking about like hundreds of thousands of people. They're the only midwives. So they come and they take care. So Paro decides he wants to kill all the baby boys, right? And he hires them, he tells them, you have to make sure that every time there's a baby boy, you see him coming out, you choke him, you'd kill him. And if it's a baby girl, you leave her. The idea was to leave all the girls. They won't have anybody to marry with, right? And then there's not going to be young men. And then they would have to marry Egyptian boys. And then the first generation, they're going to be still Jewish because the mother is Jewish. But then it's going to be intermarriage. She's going to marry her, she's going to, and then the Jewish community, Chad Shalom, is going to disappear. It didn't work out for Paro. It did not work out.
But we learned today that he said, Kol ben הבכור ליאור.
היולוד, כל הבן היולוד.
היולוד. הוא לא אמר רק היהודים, גם כולם.
יפה. So what happened? Then, when the plan A didn't work, ותחיינה את הילדים. They, instead of killing the kids, they used to come with 2 bags. Food, vegetables, fruits. They give the mother food, everything. And the community starts to multiply. So Paro is going crazy. Hey, what's going on? I hired you to reduce the number of the Jews, and they're multiplying. Paru, וישחצו, ויעצמו, מאוד, what's going on?
There's another
Right?
point over here, מחילה.
No?
ותחיין את הילדים. Each woman had 6 baby במכה אחת.
Right.
חלק אבל some of the babies were dead already. When they came out, they came back dead. So they make them alive, the ones that were dead already. That's what כתוב ותחיינה.
חזק, they brought
לא כתוב לא תהרגנה וזה, כתוב ותחיינה. היו מתים והם החיו אותם.
חזק,
חוץ מאלה שהם הצילו, לא לשלוח אותם לריבר, אבל חלק הם הצילו.
No, the river was step number 2.
כן, בסדר.
Once step number 1 didn't work,
Right.
so Paro said, okay, I cannot count on those ladies. So his policemen used to come to houses and take the babies and throw them to the Nile.
Okay.
But he couldn't do it because it didn't look good, right? So Rashi says he decreed also on his people. Even the Egyptians, they used to take their babies, but not right away. First they threw the Jewish babies into the Nile. Then on the day, his sources told him, oh, we see the one who's going to save the Jews is born today. That day, he decreed, we don't know where he is. Is he going to be born in an Egyptian house, a Jewish house? So they said everybody has to throw their baby to the Niles, the baby boys. So the Egyptians also, right? Kol ben. Kol ben means doesn't say all the Jewish boys. This is kol ben, all the Jewish boys. So basically there was 3 steps. First step is to try to kill them by birth. Didn't work out, the ladies didn't listen to him. Second step, throw the baby boys into the Nile. Third step, when Moshe Rabbeinu, the day that Moshe Rabbeinu was born, the decree was everybody, Jewish and Egyptians, because he didn't want to take a chance, right? So he threw everybody, right? And Moshe Rabbeinu was thrown into the Nile. How? In a basket.
Right.
His mother put a basket, so she put it in the water, right? So that was the 3 steps in the parasha. Now, what's happening now? Hashem says, but all those thousands of people that the 2 ladies saved, the mother Yocheved and the daughter Miriam, I have to pay. I have to give them a sachar. I have to give them a thing. So what does Hashem say? Hashem says, from Yocheved, I'm going to take out Batei Keuna, Velevia. All the Leviim and all the Kohanim are coming from Yocheved. Yocheved is married to Levi. From her is going to come Aaron. From Aaron is going to come all the tribe of Levi plus the tribe of Kohen. From Miriam, the daughter, going to come the dynasty of the kings of Israel. She's going to marry Kalev. Kalev is the tribe of Yehuda. Yehuda ba kol ha-melachim. All the tribe. So because they survived, they helped so many Jewish boys to survive, Hashem helped them, and helped them means gave them a sachar. He paid them up so they can have the Keuna, Leviah, and Malchut, right? Then we see something else in the parasha. In this, when Moshe Rabbeinu, right, he was born premature. He was born 6 months and 1 day. The Egyptians, what they used to do, as a lady fell pregnant, we know she's going to give birth in 9 months. They used to come after, more or less a day or two, and they see, oh, she gave birth already, they take the baby. If it's a boy, they throw it in the Nile. Moshe Rabbeinu was born premature. He was born 6 months in one day instead of 9 months. So his mother could have kept him 3 months in the house. She had a chance to keep him 3 months. But then when she knew the 3rd month they're going to come, she built a small basket, right? And she put him on the water. The mother couldn't see. She couldn't watch what's going to happen to him, right? He's such a nice baby and everything. So she went home. ותתצב אחותו מרחוק. But his sister, she was 6 years old. She says, what? My baby brother, what's going to happen? Maybe the water going to tip the basket and he's going to drown. Maybe an Egyptian's Rasha is going to come, he's going to see a big Jewish baby, he's going to kill him. ותתצב אחותו מרחוק לדעה מה יעשה לו. She wanted to know what's going to happen to her brother, baby brother, right? And then, who comes? The daughter of Paro. The daughter of Paro comes, and she opens the basket. Oh, מילדי עברים זה. It's a Jewish boy. And she takes him. Why? That day, she decided she wants to become Jewish. But Paro. Why? She couldn't stand what her father is doing to babies. It's not human. It's not. You don't have to love Jews, but you have to be human. How can you take a baby just born? He hardly came out from his mother's stomach. You take him, you throw him in the water. It's so cruel, right? So she couldn't take it. She says, I have to, you know what? I'm gonna become Jewish. And she went. So she came to the Jewish side of the river, and she wanted to dip. And because she came to convert, Hashem gave her a present. She converted. She finds Moshe Rabbeinu. She finds him. Okay. So now, what's gonna be?
She watch him.
Huh?
Oh.
So the Gemara said, Tosfot says 20 minutes. Shlisha. Between 15 to 20 minutes. Shlisha.
15 minutes.
Huh?
Shamala 15 minutes.
Okay, 15, 20 minutes. So the Hashem said, oh, you watched my prophet, Moshe Rabbeinu, 20 minutes? I owe you. What does it mean, you owe you? It says like this. When Hashem pays somebody, he can pay him up to 500 times more. 500 times more. Right? Because it says when Hashem punishes somebody, he can punish him up to 4 generations. And when he pays good to somebody, he pays him up to 2,000 generations. Wow. So the ratio between 4 and 2,000 is 500. So listen to this. She was standing there 20 minutes watching her brother. Then Bat Paro came and she took the basket, right? So now Hashem didn't give her anything. She didn't give her anything. Not ala klum. She's 6 years old. 80 years later, when Moshe Rabbeinu took the Jews out of Egypt, they're in the desert, they received the Torah, Moshe Rabbeinu separates from his wife. He separates from his wife. So she calls him, she's the older sister, she's 6 years older than Moshe Rabbeinu. Aaron is 3 years older than Moshe Rabbeinu. So they call him, Bo lepo. What's this? Why you separate from your wife? I'm older than you 6 years. I was Nevi'ah, I was a prophet before you. Did I separate from my husband and my kids? No. Aaron was a prophet. Did he separate from his wife? No. Lama azavta et ishtecha, Tzipora, why do you live with your wife? And she started to speak with them harsh. Hashem came down. Maze, what are you talking to him? How are you talking to my prophet? How are you talking to my prophet? Are you talking to my Avdi Moshe? Okay? So Hashem got upset. He left. And Miriam Metzorat Kashelim. She became leopard. Completely leprosy. כל הגוף שלה מלא צרעת. עכשיו, אהרון לא יכול לטפל בה. Normally צרעת is a Kohen. But because she's a sister, he cannot help her. So he told Moshe Rabbeinu, please do something. So Moshe Rabbeinu, please Hashem, forgive her. Me, Mechila, I don't. Yeah. So Hashem says, okay, she's going to stay 7 days like this. But Hashem is saying, listen, when you were a baby, she waited for you 20 minutes to see what's going to happen to you. So this 20 minutes, I have to double it by 500. How? She is now locked down for 7 days. How many 20 minutes there in 7 days? In a day, there's 24 hours. 7 days, right? Times 24 is times 24 hours is 186 hours.
168.
168. 168. 168. יפה. 168. 168.
Times 60.
Right? Times?
60.
Why 60?
60 דקות בשעה.
Huh?
60
You
דקות
don't have to
בשעה.
know. Times 3.
זה יותר קל.
Times 3, it's much easier.
לא,
שלוש-
אתה יודע.
20 minutes is a third of an hour. Times it 3. So it's 504. 504. 504 is 500 times what she watched. She watched her brother for 120 minutes. Am Israel waited for her 504 20 minutes. Why 4? What's the 4? It's 500. Why 4? Why 4 extra 20 minutes? You know why? Because the time Tosfot explains the time when she came out of the hiding place because she was hiding, and Bat Paro find the baby, and then she gave him to her ladies to nurse him, and he didn't want to nurse, so she came out from the hiding place. Said, "Do you want me to call a Jewish woman? I'm a Jewish woman because this is Jewish. You want it? Yeah." She ran home and she called the The lady wants a Jewish lady, right? Come. The time she went and she came back, there was another 4 20 minutes. 4 times 20 minutes. So Hashem paid her when? 80 years later. Sometimes you say, oh, I did so good, I helped people, I did. Why Hashem doesn't give me? Habibi, Hashem is going to give you when you're going to need. If He gives you now, when you're going to need, He's not going to give you. So Miriam needed this. 80 years later, they needed her, Am Israel, 3 million people to wait for her. So Hashem waited 80 years to give her what she deserves. You understand? So to tell you, when you do something, Hashem will pay you 500 times more what you did. 500 times more. But He's going to give it to you at the right time. So sometimes people say, oh, I did, how come Hashem doesn't give me? Habibi, if you have patience, Hashem is going to give it to you exactly at the moment that you need. Now, this is not the end. When it comes to the royal palace, Moshe Rabbeinu comes to the royal palace, Paro says, what's this? Eveti Yehudi Abaita? You brought a Jewish home? I said you have to throw the Jews into the Nile. So she says, no, he's Jewish, but I'm allowed to keep him. He says, why? He says, because you said, Kol ben ayelot, ayora, tashlichu, you have to throw him to the Nile. Ki min hamayim ishitiu. They threw him into the water, and I pulled them from the water. You never said you're not allowed to pull them out. You said you have to throw them. He was thrown, umin hamayim, from the water, I took him out. He couldn't say anything. He says, okay, keep it. Then he starts taking him. It's taking him, and he starts playing with him. Kuchi. Moshe Rabbeinu sees his crown, takes off his crown, and he puts it on himself. So all the magicians say, oh, this is the baby we're talking about. This is the one who's going to take your place. He's going to take out all the Jews from Egypt. Wow, he got scared. He says, "Ma lasot? You have to kill him now. You have to kill him." Who was there? Yitro. Yitro was one of the closest counselors to Paro. It's a baby. How are you going to kill a baby? He says, yeah, but listen, he's going to take out all the Jews. He says, no, you know what? Let's make a test. Let's do a test. What do you want to do? He says, let's bring 2 plates. One plate we put gold. One plate we put glowing charcoals, right? So he says, if he takes the gold, means he's chacham. So really, what he took your crown, he really means to take your place. But if he's going to take the charcoals, which are glowing, it's a nice thing. So we know that he doesn't understand what he's doing. So what happened? Makara, Walach akatan hazeh. You wanted to take the gold. Yarad malach Gabriel came down, pushed his hand. He took a coal, but burned his hand. Zarak et zeh, he threw it. Nafal al asfatayim. Fell on his lips. It burned his lips, and since then he started to stutter. מגמגם, he started to stutter.
So tell him why. תגיד להם למה אבל.
למה?
למה נהיה מגמגם?
Because when the Egyptians lady tried to milk him, give him milk to nurse him, he didn't want. So what did they do? They pulled that milk and they started to put it into his mouth. He was closing his lips. לא רוצה. למה? הוא אומר, I'm going to talk to Hashem. I'm going to put not kosher milk on my mouth. הם דחפו לו את זה. They pushed him. No, גויה. כל מה שהיא אוכלת, everything she eats, it's in the milk. אז מה קרה? What happened?
ליבון.
So Hashem says, now we have to clean your lips. הם דחפו לך את זה השפתיים. They pushed it on your lips. אז הגחלת שרף לו את כל השפתיים.
לא קשה לך
עגלה.
גויה?
Today?
Huh?
Today is
Yes.
not kosher even today?
How does the lady have milk? From everything she eats.
No, I know.
What about donation blood?
Huh?
Blood donation.
Blood is something else. Okay, but this is food. This is food. It's not the same thing.
So what happened? Well, because it's okay. So blood, obviously you're not ingesting it. So anything that's, let's say, hypothetically, the person can't eat, open his mouth, so they give him a line in the stomach.
Yeah, but this is
all that
nothing.
stuff.
This is serum.
I know. And let's say in that food, it's not
No,
kosher.
it's
that doesn't count.
it's vitamins. It's serum.
Okay, but let's say someone puts pork
No.
in the serum thing and put it through the stomach. Is that kosher or not kosher? Technically.
אם זה לרפואה,
It's not
יכול
kosher.
שיותר.
Okay.
Over. Anyways, what happened was, so Yitro saved Moshe Rabbeinu, נכון? Look what happens. Hashem says to Yitro, you saved him, נכון? I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you, but not now. I'm going to help you in 20 years. 20 shana. What happened 20 years later? Moshe Rabbeinu goes out. He sees an Egyptian hitting a Jew. He kills him. He saves the Jew. The next day he sees two Jews fighting. He tries to stop them. They go to Paro. They snitch on him. Oh, he killed the Egyptian yesterday. Paro tries to kill him. He runs away. He runs to Midian. How old is he? 20 years old. 20 years old. He goes to Midian. He finds the shepherds. They are starting up with 7 girls. Hey, get out of here. Take out your sheep. Moshe Rabbeinu says, why do you behave to girls? מה זה, אתם גיבורים על בחורות? You strong against girls? Come against me. So they got scared.
איזה פרשת?
שמות, פרשה שלנו.
זה פרשה שלנו?
שלנו השבוע, היום. So then he pushes the shepherds away, נותן לשתות. They come home early. He says, מה זה מיהרתם לבוא? How come you come here so early today? Says Mitro to his daughters. So he says, no, there was an Egyptian. He's such a nice guy. He saved us. They started up with us and saved us. So okay, call him to eat bread. And Rashi says, I know he's going to marry one of you. He comes home, he eats supper, התחתן עם ציפורה. How many years? 20 years after Yitro saved them. 20. So what you see? Hashem paid Yitro 20 years later. You saved Moshe Rabbeinu, you saved your son-in-law. You saved the son-in-law. Okay? להגיד לכם, to tell you, תראה מה זה, Hashem, right? You do something good, he waits, מחכה. He waits. And then, when it's time, he pays. Okay? So to tell this week's parasha, we learn so many things. How is Hashem, right? How is Hashem is paying 500 times more, right? And on the right time, right? There was in Tel Aviv. In Tel Aviv, there was a how do you call this? There was a woman. But she's not really. And when she died, the Chevra Kadisha came to take her out of the house. There were 4 people with a little bit of neighbors. They were like minyan mitzumtzam, really, really strange minyan. So as they're taking out the body from the house, out of the house to bring it to the cemetery, all of a sudden the sky becomes black. They look, wow, me'ot yonot, 100 thousands of birds. White doves, they come and they circle around. Says, wow, what? They take the body in the car to the cemetery, the birds follow them. They come to the cemetery, the birds follow them. They bury her, they go away, and the birds go in a circle like this. So they ask the son, מה קורה פה? Do you know, what's those birds? He says, I don't know. But maybe, he says his mother never threw bread. If she had bread from Shabbat, if she had bread in the week, she used to put in a big plate and used to give to birds. Years, he says, many years, hundreds of thousands of birds used to come to her backyard to eat the bread. Okay? He says, maybe now they came to the levaya. Instead of having a levaya of 10 people, miskena, okay? Look, all those birds they came to. זה גם, it's also a pay. It's also Hashem paying up. אתה מבין? זה גם שכר.
Me, myself, I threw the bread into the lake in Oak Ridge. כל הברווזים באים אוכלים. סתם הלכתי עם אשתי פעם אחת, ראו אותי עובר, כל הברווזים באו אליי. אשתי אומרת לי, מה זה? I give them the bread all the time. What?
Yeah. So to tell you, right, I want to show you something. It says, in Europe, באירופה, in Europe, יש what's called the booklet of the קהילה, פנקס הקהילה. What's the booklet of the קהילה? The פנקס הקהילה, the booklet of the קהילה, of the community, the booklet of the community is things that happen in the community which were not normal things, like nes, miracle, something out of the ordinary. Over there, one rabbi, he looked inside, he saw a story. In Europe, in Vilna, there was a big rabbi, Agon Vilna, Rabbi Eliyahu Vilna. This rabbi, his wife was collecting tzedakah together with his friend, and used to give to poor people, used to help Chatan vekala. She used to be gabayot tzedakah. One day they talked to each other, the two ladies, they said, you know what? The first one is going to die out of them, is going to have to come in the dream of the other one to tell her what's happening over there. Okay. The other lady passed away. 3 months later, she comes in the dream of the wife of Gon Mevina. Says, wow. You don't know what they gave me for the tzedakah that we did. But I want to tell you something. If you remember, a few years ago, there was a man on the other side of the sidewalk. And we wanted to make him give tzedakah. So with our hand, we says, Bo, come. But he says, you know, Bashamayim, they wrote the motion of the hand, just the motion, just to do like this, and you cannot imagine how much you get for this, the sachar. I cannot even tell you how much you get just for the motion, just to do like this. Come for the mitzvah of giving tzedakah, I just did like this. He says you cannot imagine what I give him for that. Forget about the mitzvah, just the motion to do a mitzvah. So she says Hashem in the next world pays you for motions. Okay, you just move your head or you just do like this for a mitzvah. You cannot know how much Hashem is about to give you, right? So that's why we have to do as many mitzvot as possible. Why? The Rambam says, how come Hashem give us 613 mitzvot? It's a lot. The Goyim, he gave 7 mitzvot. To us, he gives 613. Lama? Why we need so much? If they do 7, they go Gan Eden. Okay? He says, because the Rambam says, Hashem really, He's not expecting from you 613. He expects you to do as much as you could. But He expects you 1 mitzvah good. 1 full mitzvah. So out of the 613, He says, I hope you're going to do 1 mitzvah l'Shem Shamayim, without interest. Like give tzedakah l'Shem Shamayim, or put tefillim l'Shem Shamayim. Really want to, Hashem, I want to make you happy. I'm putting tefillim today to make you happy because you said in the Torah, right? Do 1 mitzvah, תיקח מצווה, תעשה את זה בשלמות, do it complete, and Hashem is going to pay you up for this. So to tell us, right, we don't understand how much Hashem pays for the mitzvot. He can go up to 500 times more, and when you do a mitzvah, sometimes He would pay you ba'olam hazeh, but He was going to wait to pay you for the day you need. He doesn't pay you right away, right? And if you don't need, He's going to reserve it to olam haba. It's going to be completely in the next world. But when you're going to need, out of your bank account, He's going to take some interest of your mitzvot, and He's going to pay you to everything. But it's going to come at the right time. So Vat Hashem, this week's parasha, Vat Hashem, we should learn it and see. We're starting a new book, so we should see as much as things as we can do. What do you say?